Hey, everybody, welcome to Mid America Dirt. I'm Skip, and I am super excited to be joined by Mr. Wayne Brooks, Hall of Famer. Mr. Brooks, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I really appreciate you coming on here. I've had all kind of people want me to get you on here and get an interview, and I'm super excited about it. And Wayne, I don't know a lot about about your story. Could you kind of tell me, where you're from and how you got into racing?
Well, I'm from Ball Knob, Arkansas, and um, I'd never been to a racetrack or seen a dirt track, anything like that. I was raised in around auto parts, garage, salvage yard, and had a really good friend of mine. His name was Ray Klutz, and super good machinist, stuff like that. And they started a little racetrack at Garner, Arkansas, and they passed out little sheets of paper about the rules and regulations, and it was just beginner type classes. And like I said, I'd never even been to a dirt track. And Ray come by my garage there, my dad's garage, and he said, "We need to build one of these." He said, "I'm going to build one. Why don't you build one?" And so I went down the salvage yard and picked out the only car that Dad would kind of let me have, and had to pay for it. And of all things, it was a Plymouth, and
Really?
56 Plymouth, flathead six. And anyway, they had a 600 class, and that was really I guess, the lowest class, the beginning deal. When I showed up at the racetrack, I didn't even know which way we went around the track. I never I'm telling you, God's gospel. Uh, anyway, I'm like, there's lots of stuff in between where I'm going to go with this, but um, I got the first trophy they ever give away at the racetrack.
Really?
Yes, I did, and let me try to explain how I got that. Back then, it didn't matter if we had 40 cars. We all started the heat at the same time, same heat. We ran all the cars at the same time, all of
Wow.
them. Never ran 10 at a time and all that crap. Anyway, I'm in the field there, and we never hot lapped. They just watered the track and then sent you out there whenever they thought it was time to go out. They never rolled it or nothing. This has been a while.
Golly.
Oh, you'd love this stuff. I actually have a video of it.
Do you
And
really?
oh yeah, yeah, I do. It's on what was the name of that old video recorder? Hal and Bell, or Bell and Hal.
Oh,
And
that's pretty cool.
and I got that. Well, anyway, I'm starting somewhere and nowhere close to the front, and I get to noticing that this water truck guy, he didn't. There was like 6 foot close to the wall down the front straightaway. It was dry. Well, everybody else just spinning in the mud because it was really wet. And I thought,
Yeah.
I'll just pull out there and go. Well, sure enough, they dropped the green. I pulled out there and I am going, man. I am passing everybody. I get around all the way around everybody. I'm going around 1 and 2 on the top side, and I am cooking. And you know what? This cat decides to water the top. Well,
Oh,
I hit that slick stuff, went over and turned over. And the trophy that I got is about 8 inches to maybe a foot tall, and it's the car on the top is upside down. The first trophy they ever give was for a rollover trophy. It's the first trophy I ever got was a rollover trophy. So you know, little learning experience there.
I got you. So that's you got a rollover trophy from Garner. I guess was
Garden
it Garner
Speedway.
Raceway or
Yeah,
Garner Speedway? I don't even know there was a racetrack down
it
there.
was, yeah, there was one down there, and it was called White County Speedway.
Okay. How long did it last?
Oh, it probably lasted maybe 10 years. I'm not too sure.
Okay. Okay.
I really
Eh,
don't remember. Probably at least 5. And,
okay.
yeah,
Wait,
yeah, I
now,
would.
what your first race? What year was that?
You remember, Donna? What was my first year of racing? 71.
71.
Mhm.
Okay. So how did you progress from there?
Well, you know, I mean, you love this stuff or you don't, and I loved it,
Yeah.
and I I raced that season, sold that car. Actually, didn't spend any money. I'd won a little bit, and for what I sold my car for and all, I'm setting up pretty good. So I'll build me another one, and now had no trailer. I put my stuff with a tow bar.
Really?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then I ended up with a trailer there about a year and a half, 2 years. I built the trailer and a little two-wheel trailer, and I pulled my car, and they were running at I-30 Speedway, which I think I called it Benton Speedball then. Um, they was running at Garner, which is White County. They was running at Heber Springs, which was Cleveland County Speedway. And then Locust Grove started up a little later. And there was just some tracks starting up in the area, and I just started running,
Hit
you know.
hit them all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question
Well,
before I
I
forget
could
about it.
run.
Did you race on that?
They would only run like Friday nights and Saturday nights, and
Okay.
I ran 2 nights.
Okay.
I'd run
Did
two
you
nights.
ever run up on that track at Ravenden?
Yes. Yep.
Did you run on
Years
that track?
years ago, years ago, and
Okay.
I'm thinking, if I remember correctly, I did not run my car. I went and drove someone else's car there, but I remember Raven
Okay.
did.
Yeah, I've been by that, all my life. I've gone by there and saw that track. You can just see it. It's just grass. It's always been grass that I can remember, over the top of it there in
Yeah.
somebody's field. And Chris Ellis was telling me that he watched one race there, and told me the name of it, Spring River Speedway or something like that, I
uh
think. And how was that track to race on? I want to ask you that. Do you remember?
Mm, I really don't. I don't
Okay.
remember that exactly. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that I went to run. So I'm not even sure I went. I went to the racetrack either with a friend to help him and test his car or do whatever. But I ended up running the race, and I really don't remember much about it.
Okay.
Um,
All right. Well, I just wanted to ask you about that before I forgot about it. So w- at some point you got into late models and stuff. Is that how did you
well,
get into driving late models and when was that?
back 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 when I started, you could only run 4 years in a class without moving up. And
Oh, okay.
uh, I had when I had run the 3rd year in what they call a 6 cylinder class. Mark Martin was getting started, and Julian came to me. Uh, and, I, I had a really good car. I mean, I was winning. I don't mean to be bragging, but I was pretty much winning it all. And well, Julian come to me and wanted me to help Mark, and he wanted to get Mark started. and Mark had already ran a little, and I'd already, uh, I built Mark Martin's first 6 cylinder motor that he ever won a race with.
I'll be
And
daggone.
yeah, and I mean, you can call Mark, ask him, it's true. But Julian ended up buying my car on after my 4th year. We made an agreement at the beginning of the 4th year what I'd sell it for and everything, and I sold the car and all to Mark, Mark's dad, Julian, and then they ran. Well, like I said, you asked me how they moved up. Well,
Mm,
uh, the I had to move up to the next class, which was the V8 class, which we call late models today. Okay,
okay.
I went 6 cylinder V8 sprint cars. Now they had like bombers or hobbies or whatever before that,
Right.
but I didn't never run that. But anyway, and so I built a late model. Uh, the famous Larry Phillips. Uh, he he was kind of a friend. We'd met, and uh, by then, uh, Ray Klutz was my partner, and we had won enough money with that 6 cylinder to buy that late model. I mean,
Wow.
I'm telling
That
you, this car was
that's
really
that's
good.
that's doing pretty good if you've made enough
This
money
car
to.
was really good, and
Yeah.
we we bought a went to Springfield, Missouri, picked up a chassis. When I say a car, I mean chassis, and we had
Right.
to build motors and stuff, but chassis is what I should have said. But Larry built us a chassis and started running on dirt, and he was mainly in asphalt. Uh, super race, good
Yeah.
asphalt racer, very good, and ran the car. Believe it or not, Arkansas had an asphalt track that I ran it on at Stuttgart,
I
Arkansas, quarter
Wow, I did not
mile,
know that either.
yeah, quarter mile at the airport. And as far as I know, I still hold the track record there. You know, it didn't last maybe a year, 2 years, and then it fell out. But when I got ready to go running on asphalt, I'd been running on dirt. I called Larry up and I said, Larry, I got a little asphalt track down here. And he told me some stuff to do to it, and I went down there and it just annihilated them. I mean, it was bad, but
Golly.
yeah, not me, believe me, it was the car. And he 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 really helped me out. I've been really fortunate to have so many influential people that was so good. Um, Larry Shaw, Larry Shaw's been a big influence on me. His whole family, in it. I mean, I feel like we are family. I don't even consider them different people. As far as
Yeah, I
like that.
gotcha. Yeah.
We're just family. I knew them all. I know them all. Kind of raised up with their sons and everything. So but same with Larry. Uh, I never knew Terry that much. Of course, he was stayed away. But Terry's a super good racer and
Yeah, he is.
unreal and unreal racer, really good and good individual. You know, that's the
Yep.
people you got to remember in this deal. But um, yeah, a little bit of all of it. I got involved. Even I ran a sprint car a little while. Uh,
Yeah, I want you to tell me that story, about
well,
your sprint car.
it's sort of like bragging, but I have a record that probably no one else has got in sprint car racing. Um, I have won every feature race that I ever started. Okay.
That's
Now
big.
the trick to that is I only ever started one. uh, I had some sponsors that was helping me out, and this is after I ran about the third year or so, and late models, and now you're supposed to have to move up, which they canceled some of that out later, and you didn't have to. But or this was right before they changed that. This was I-30 Speedway, and that was their kind of their rule, and everyone else kind of went by that. But they got together and kind of helped me out. I actually got an old motor out of a street car. That was a little hot. It was a little hot rod street car, but it was a little motor. And back then, this was a non-wing Sprinter. Everyone had to run the exact right rear tire. That was the only specification on rubber. Well, I had a late model that had a left rear tire, so I didn't have to buy nothing there. So my sponsors bought a couple of front tires and a right rear tire, and that's it, no spares. And had um, Bill Evans, which was Evans Balancing Service in Little Rock. He got that little street motor for me, and I pulled my carburetor off of my late model and some tire for the left rear. But everyone in the Sprints then had power steering and fuel injection. I I had this car was really old. It had been sitting in the field for years, and so they got it all out. No, it's good. It's a good car. You just go. We just want to see how you like it. That's what it was all about. It wasn't about whether it
Yeah.
was going to do any good. And well, uh, so I put a carburetor on it, and no power steering, and uh, went out and won my heat race, and then won the feature the first night. And the second
That's awesome.
night, I get out there and I win my heat, and I don't remember whether it's the rear end or the motor, but I tore it up. It was, I wasn't able to start the feature, and like I said, it was just a test thing to start with, and and the track was perfect for me that night. It was really, really slick. If you needed a lot of horsepower and really good steering install, I'd have been in trouble. But the track was just perfect for that old car. And
Yeah.
turned out the old car was to get it going and get it that good right off the bat. I found out. I called um, Memphis, Tennessee. Uh, Sprint car racer. I'm losing my mind here. But anyway, I called him and
Swindell?
sw- yeah, Sammy Swindell. I called Sammy and I said, Sammy, I need some help, man. I said, I'm going to run this thing. And he said, well, of course I knew Sammy because he'd come over and run I-30 and I was always there running late models. We'd already rubbed elbows a little bit. And I said, Sammy, I said, uh, I think this might have been one of your old cars. And it don't matter. He said, just do this and this. Well, I ran it, and after I tore it up, I called him back, or I think he might have called me. I'm not too sure on that. But he asked me, he said, Wayne, is that car got a chrome roll cage? And I said, sure. Yeah. Well, let me fill you in on that real quick. Back in the day, to chrome roll cages, they'd take the whole chassis, turn it upside down, and just put the top down in this acid vat that got it ready to chrome. And well, if there happened to be any flaw in any well, some of that got on the inside of the tubing. Well, there was guys that had ran those after a few years that the roll cages give up in a bad accident and they
Oh,
got
man.
hurt. And it was really, really bad. And so they totally outlawed all that. And you couldn't do that no more because they found out that it deteriorates the tubing, guy get hurt or killed. And so,
Okay.
so I think maybe Sammy called me. I cannot remember. And he said, man, don't run that car. Don't run that. It's too late, Sammy. I I don't run a feature and this I guess I got lucky because it didn't run the next night, but I was thinking about getting it ready. It was the first of the week after the second night, and he told me, he said, "Don't run that car, man." He said, "That car will kill you." And
Oh man.
that and not having any sponsorship, no spare tires, not the right motor, there was a thousand things. But I will tell you, I had tons of fun in that car. I was so comfortable in that race car. Um,
Was that the most
I
fun you had racing that thing?
well, as much because the thing that I enjoyed, the thing that I got to say is, of all the different types of race cars, and I don't know one type of car that I hadn't ran, but I mean, it fit me. I I think I could have done sprint cars. I really do. I mean, I
Okay.
might not have been worth a flip, but I liked it. I would like to.
Uh,
I guess I would if the sponsorships and you know times if life would have went that direction, I think I'd have loved it for sure. But I haven't
yeah,
been in any type of race car I didn't really like. So, but I really like that one.
I got you. I got you. Wayne, did you ever run any series or anything full time?
No, I never did really was a series runner. I looked at my expenses to where I was going and the whole layout for that weekend and whatever it paid. And if I feel like I can make something, I mean, I know that sounds terrible, but I literally looked at it as a living. I've actually done well with it. Not that I've got anything, but I, I looked at it that direction. I didn't look at it
Okay.
I didn't look at it like I really wasn't worried about the trophies or championships. I only thing I were the bottom line, and
Right.
that's what it meant to me at the time. But I was raising a family, you know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was doing that's and my hobby was actually my business. So,
Well, that's pretty daggum good, when you
yeah,
can do that.
I'm the
Not
luckiest guy in the world. I'm the guy that loved to fish more than anything else. That's the way I look at my racing. A
Yeah,
guy that loved to fish more than anything else and could make a living doing it. Now that was
that's good.
me racing.
Yeah.
I didn't say it
That's
was a
good.
great living, but I made one. We ate.
I I I did some research, and from what I can tell, from what I've researched, it says you have over 500 feature wins. Does that sound right to you?
In a late model.
Oh, is that
That
just in a late model?
yes, that has nothing to do with my modifieds or any of
Okay, well let's I don't know where to go to next. Let's talk about I know Shaw told me that you did a lot of good stuff with it. When did you start running Shaw cars?
well, back the Mark Martin deal and the six cylinders, and I had to move up. When I had to move up, um, like I said, Ray and I bought one there, and I think I got a little ahead of myself. Um, no, no, we bought it, and then that didn't last but like a year. That car, and well, our partnership dissolved. I mean, it was no big deal. It was just each one of them went a different way.
Right.
Like I said, great guy. I'm not talking bad about anybody or me. That was the deal. But I ended up building my own car. Um,
Okay.
and I built my own chassis. And I think this went over. I think that was over like a 2 or 3 year period that this thing in between the six summers and when I built my own car. And when I built my own car at I-30, they were having like 30 late models 40 a night, a
Wow.
lot of cars.
Yeah, it is
Uh,
good.
Believe it or not, there was a time, more than any one time, there was not a late model on a track that wasn't a Shaw except mine.
Well, are you kidding me?
And
Wow.
and I was a winner. So now you know how Larry told me, he said, "You gotta drive one of my cars." Cause he's a car builder and he thinks it's all the driver. And I knew better. I knew it wasn't a driver. But I had a really good car and
Well, now
like
why didn't you what made you not get into the chassis building business?
what
Just didn't want to.
I actually did that a little bit too. I
Okay.
built
Okay.
I built a few cars, but not I mean, Larry builds race cars. So if you got a guy that's going to build a race car or two and then drive and then compete against, it, I, that's a whole different deal. But I had some racer friends and all that I did build. I built a few cars. I built some
Okay.
dwarf cars for a while, about 15 of those.
Okay.
Um, I was into that deal a little while. Race engines. I've, uh, you know, just a little of all of it. built built several race engines actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Shaw, I guess he finally talked you into getting into one of his cars.
Well, sure. Yeah, he can talk.
Yeah.
But no, I hit it off with him and it was a good time for me to do that. And my old car was wore out and it was time for a car and you know, it's times. Whatever you just got to do what the times call for. And
Right.
it was time. Yep.
Okay. So obviously, golly, 500 feature wins in a late model. That's
Mhm.
and okay. So how many modified wins?
Really close to the same.
I gotcha. Well, so what's the furthest you've been off to race? I mean, where all have you gone? Just everywhere?
Uh oh God, yeah, just California, Florida, up north, about as far as you can go without going into Canada, and just pretty much everywhere. Haven't been
Okay.
up in the Northeast hardly any. Pennsylvania, Maine, but I'm not too sure they're big late model guys. I know they're those big block modifieds
Yeah,
type
where you sit in the
cars.
middle. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But the big deal I was, it didn't matter where it's at. I just kind of looked at the paycheck, what we're going to
Yeah.
end up with here and how much it costs to get there. And I didn't have the sponsorship. I mean, I had good sponsors. The ones I had really good sponsors. And, uh, I mean, Don Jeter in Woodward, Oklahoma. Uh, God, I can't even think of all of them. I mean, I just one that just hit me that was from out of state. Uh, you know, uh, Raymond Merle with Merle Self Storage, and he's out in Oklahoma, and that's a couple from out of state. Of course, Larry Shaw. I mean, I drove his house car for a while, and I've always he might not realize it, but he was a sponsor.
Yeah. Now you
Yeah,
said you drove his house car. Were
yeah.
you was that were you the first house car driver? Because I don't
Oh
remember him
no, I
telling me
don't
about
think
that.
so. No, the drivers get deals with other people and stuff, and uh, I'm sure Billy drove the house car for a while, and
Yeah.
I really don't know who all did. There was a lot of them, but it was pretty common for car builders at the time to have what they'd call a house car. You know, it was someone that they were taking care of there, and we done experimental stuff for them and test and debuted his product, and but I got to do that a little while. enjoyed it. Uh, yep, had a good time with
Wh-
that.
what Wayne? What would you consider to be your top moment in racing? Your biggest win? Does something come to
Well,
mind
it's
that
nowhere
is the
close to
biggest
the
win?
most money. Uh, I guess what I would and it was where it was at, and it was prestigious to me, I guess. And it really didn't pay much money. But Bristol Motor Speedway, when they
Oh,
put
okay.
dirt on it, and they invited, there was uh, they were only taking 22 cars. They took 11 from Atomic Speedway there in Tennessee. That's all housing district now. In Bulls Gap, Tennessee, was the first one. There was over 200 of us showed up. I think it's 236 or 246. There were
Wow.
that many showed up. Um, I set fast time, won my heat, and won my feature out of
Well,
those.
that's awesome.
That paid that paid almost 3 times the amount of money as it did 2 weeks later to go win Bristol, if it tells you anything.
Okay.
It wasn't the money, it was just being at Bristol. I mean, my God, that's a historic racetrack
Sure it
and
is. Yeah, absolutely.
beautiful facility, and I just loved being there. It was
Now,
just
did you do
that
that
was
in a
probably
modified?
my best deal. Yeah, sir.
Did you do that in a modified?
Yeah, modified. Oh, I
Okay, was
uh, Raymond Merle brought me a late model there to run, but it had engine problems. We didn't qualify
okay.
for the late model. I was going to double duty and run late models there also.
Okay, yeah, that's the trophy I saw then. Larry showed me
Okay.
that trophy
Yeah.
and said that
Uh,
was the first year they put dirt on Bristol.
the first year.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is pretty awesome. And that's
Yeah.
historic.
Yeah. There's a story there too, but a couple of stories on that. But yeah. Uh,
Well, tell me. If they're too bad, I'll edit them out.
well, Don Schoenfeld, the Schoenfeld Headers, has been
Uh-huh.
a friend, just like Larry Shaw. A friend of mine has helped me forever. When I started racing, they didn't. No one was building dirt headers anywhere in this area or that I even knew about. And running a 6-cylinder, I built my own. Just made my own stuff. Then I went to V8, and I just had some old cobbled up street stuff on it. And I was at Fort Smith, and uh, Don asked me, if I needed. And I said, sure, I need something bad. He said, well, I said, but I can't, man, I can't afford nothing right now. He said, no, he said, you tell me how you want them built. And I said, that's what I want to build. He was working out of his house, uh, garage, like where you pull a car in a regular old house. That's where he
Yeah.
started. And, anyway, me and Don go back a long ways. Yeah. Him, his whole family, and his sons. I race against them and been to their facility. They've helped me forever, and I hope that I've been a little bit part of some of their success because anytime I needed something done, or I thought it might make the car better, they just build it, man. And they're unreal. I can't talk good enough about them. But where was we going with this subject? At Bristol. So I have got a set of headers of Dons that are really, really short. They just come off the motor and then turn straight out. And super good header for short track racing. You need a lot longer tube for longer, the bigger racetracks. And well,
Okay.
I didn't have any. That's all I owned. and Don give me those, I probably wouldn't have had those, you know? And of course, I had Schoenfeld on the car. I was advertising for him. And we get up there and we get 1 hour to test or practice or hot lap. So I go out there. Well, my car is sprung way too soft, and I'm dragging in my whole frame in the middle of the turns, and it's really, really
Oh
slowing
man.
down. And well, that's what you know. Don and Larry Shaw is seeing, and oh, Larry, he come after that deal, after that hour. Then we're not going to run till the next day. The next afternoon. So I got time to do everything. So I knew I needed to put different springs all the way around the car. I didn't even, I ended up not owning a spring that was in the car. I borrowed them all from other racers to get the
Oh yeah,
spring
yeah.
that I needed because I didn't have nothing that heavy. I wasn't used. The banking is so high, and if you go in as fast as we had to go in, the car would just go in and it was like your butt was going to hit the ground, just sink into the banking. The banking's really, really stout. And anyway, got the car. I knew what to do to get my car handled. I wasn't worried about that because well, next time we're going out, it ain't to hot lap, it's to race. That's the way it was. And I mainly worked on my jetting uh, in that hour because I wasn't running, putting enough. I figured I was going to run hot in a long race or out there. So I worked on some of that, and my cooling and just endurance, I guess you'd say what I worked on. Then I come in and I knew I had the wrong gear in it. And old Larry, that afternoon or the next day, well, Larry's telling me, he said, "Man, you got to do something. You ain't got near enough more. Can you borrow a motor or something?" And I said, "No, I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna, I think all I knew is put a gear." He said, "Man, you're breaking our eardrums in the bleachers right now." He said, "You're turning a lot." I said, "Well, I'm going to turn more." I said, "Where you sitting at?" He said, "Right here." I said, "What are you saying?" He said, "Right up." I said, "Well, you might want to move up a couple rows because if this thing scatters, you don't want no parts hitting you." Well, Don comes up. Don said, "Wayne," he said, "Man, don't worry about it." He said, "You might want to put a little different header on there." He said, "It'll help you. It'll help you." And he knew what I needed. He didn't have it. He said, "Man, I don't care if it's a different brand." He said, "As long as you got that Schoenfeld on the side, it don't matter." And I said, "No, Don, that's what I brought. That's what I'm gonna run." And that's just a little short story about them two guys, real quick. But that's how good of people they are. They really tried to help me in any way they could. But we ended up pulling it off anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome. It really is. I mean, that's a historic win right there. Eddie was you're talking about your, working on stuff. I think it was Eddie Martin that told me that you were just really good about being able to watch something and figure out, what needed to be done to make something better or to change something.
Yeah, well, and I always uh, I remember something though that Larry Shaw said about uh, Larry Phillips said, "Man, you might be out there racing against him and all, but do not let him ever come in and be able to adjust on his car, or you're out of the race because he's going to take off." And uh, that's always weighed heavy on my mind, and which is, uh, I'm not saying I'm anything as good as he was, or even like him, but uh, I think that's what Eddie was talking about. Uh, if you give me a chance after I've tested or watched it or even helping someone, I think we're going to be better. You're going to be
Yeah,
able to,
that's what I heard.
but it's an understanding of what we're doing, and um, teaching the class. I mean, I'd done my schools. Kevin Shaw and I we done driving schools together, and
Oh,
one
did you really?
particular. Oh yeah, yeah.
I
We've
didn't
done
know that.
driving schools. Oh yeah, yeah. You need to get a hold of Kevin. You need to interview him. He'll tell you some stories. But yeah, one time we were in Farley, Iowa, doing a school, and uh, this whole car. It. I mean, these guys are definitely on a budget. Okay, the old
Okay.
tires were probably the worst tires that was on every car that was out there, and everything. And these two fellows, they were really struggling. They wasn't going anywhere. Kevin had worked and worked and worked over there with them. Well, I always in our we'd have a day of classroom and then a day at the track. And a day at the track, well, I got to work with the drivers and uh, it, drive each one of their cars and tell them, well, but because maybe I feel something that they don't feel, or they're having a brake issue. They don't know they're having a brake issue because this car's always been that way. So a new blood in there, new thoughts, and really help these guys out. And we was able to really help a lot of good racers. And these fellas, they can't do anything. So Kevin finally comes over. It's getting later toward the end of the session, and he said, "Wayne, you got to drive his car and see what's wrong." He said, "Man, I can't." He said, "I just can't help him." And well, at Farley, you could kind of get onto the track. We was all pitted in the infield, not where they normally fit, but then we'd pit in the infield because just a certain amount, and we could leave out on the racetrack at the front straightaway, and you could get off on the back straightaway. Well, I literally pulled out on the front straightaway, took off, and pulled in the back straightaway, and pulled right back to his pits. Uh, Half a lap, you know, and what's wrong? What's wrong? I said, um, you got a broke axle or something. It's only pulling on one tire. And they said, no. They checked. Well, I just put it in gear and hit the gas. We'll only turn one tire. You wouldn't turn the other tire. And so they checked it out, and sure enough, they had a problem with the axles there, and they got it straightened out. The next
Oh,
time I
yeah,
hopped
yeah.
in the car, after the guys went out there and run a little while, Kevin must have had them pretty close because it was probably, and I don't mean to be talking about these guys, but it was probably the raggedest car on the racetrack. At the end of the day, I went out there and made 4 laps and made the fastest laps that was turned all day long with that car. It's
uh, that's
pretty
pretty
good
cool.
deal. The car was good.
Yeah,
It wasn't me. The car was good, but I
that's
was
pretty
really
cool.
tickled. I was tickled for those guys. But,
Yeah.
yeah, Kevin can
Uh,
tell stories. You'll really love to talk to him.
let me ask you this question. So the modified, when did you get done racing late models? When was when were you pretty much done racing late models?
I don't even really remember that. Oh, I don't remember the year. Uh,
Okay.
I can
Did
tell you
you
for
continue
sure
racing modifieds? Did you continue racing modifieds after you stopped racing late models?
a little back.
Okay.
I started running a little bit of modifieds for guys, and then I built my own. And
Okay.
I built my own modified. Actually, still have it. Um, uh, they're wanting to put it at maybe at the Arkansas Hall of Fame, uh, Pettigene
Okay.
Mountain. They're wanting to
Oh,
put it
okay.
up there
Now,
for a little while too. I just ain't got it ready for them to do that. And
okay.
I've kept it. It it's the little car that won most all the races. It's the one that won Bristol. Uh,
Oh, that's
it,
cool. Yeah.
exceptionally good car. It's
Yeah.
I can't stop. almost sounds like I'm bragging, and I don't mean to be that. I'm just saying it was unreal race car. And
That's cool. Yeah,
anybody that
that'd be
could
super
drive would
cool.
have
I'd like
went
to get down
good.
there. I'd like to get
Uh,
down there to that Arkansas Hall of Fame. Didn't see yet. I haven't been up there yet. But
but
I'd like to get down there and take a look at it
well,
and
I
see it.
don't
I
have
think
it
they
up
got something
there.
coming up here pretty soon.
I don't have it up there. I've got to get it ready before they can put it up there. They just do different cars at different times. May not be there 6 months
Oh,
to a
okay.
year, and then they
Okay.
rotate cars, and they're wanting me to have this one where I can do that. I just haven't got it ready yet.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this question, Wayne. How many show me's did you run in? Did you run quite a few show me 100s?
I'm not sure. Uh,
Okay.
I'm not
Because
too sure.
I got to looking, I think it's YouTube. You can watch the first Show Me 100. Now, I was there in person, but I don't remember it. Um, but I'm pretty sure you were there, weren't you, at the first one?
I think so. You know,
I think you were. I
God,
thought
there's
I saw your name in
too
there.
many races, but yeah. Uh,
And then
MLRA,
the top, oh, yeah, that was tough racing
MLRA
right there
races,
back in the day.
a lot of those guys, and uh, they ran to show me. Uh, God, I can't remember what year they started that, but anyway,
It's 90, what, 93 or 4, somewhere in there?
probably so.
I
I
think so.
ran some other guys' cars on those after I wasn't running a late model. I run some different ones, and
Okay.
so
How'd you like that track? How'd you like West Plains?
oh, I
Everybody
loved it.
I've talked to said they love that track.
Love the track. Love the people. Uh, you know, the Gibsons were. I mean, you couldn't ask for better people. They tried to help in any way they could, and Mr. Gibson worked on that racetrack, and he just had us a perfect facility to race in, and the track was a perfect surface. I mean, if you didn't like that, you just didn't like racing. It was good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
I haven't run into anybody yet that said they didn't say they liked racing on that track. So I
Really
wanted
good.
to
But
ask you about it. And that's where I came up watching it. I mean, it was West Plains. You know, I think that's the first race I ever. Well, no, that wouldn't have been the first one, but close to the first one I ever went to was up there at West
yeah,
Plains, and we went up there a lot. I mean, I love that place.
yeah,
Um, hope hoping it comes back around here and gets going again here pretty soon.
I do too. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, Wayne, I've had you on here for quite a while. I know we had some trouble getting going, which is not new, you know, for me.
Okay.
we we had I have some trouble every once in a while, but is there anything you want to add? First of all, I'd like to get you back on here again at some point, um,
Anytime,
and get
anytime anytime you can get
talk
me,
to you
buddy.
some more.
Yeah.
Um, but is there anything else you want to add, or anybody you want to thank before we get off here?
I don't I don't know you got enough time for the people I want to thank. Like I told you, you
I
know,
understand.
Don uh Don Schoenfeld and his sons, and Dennis and all every one of them boys and the whole family and the guys that work there and Larry Shaw and all the guys. I'm telling you, I could go down a list. Raymond Merle, Don Jeter, you know, Ed Reinhardt. He's done passed from us. He was down in Cleveland, Texas, and I I, I would leave out hundreds of people. I'm telling you, there's just
I
been so.
understand.
These guys, to me, that's what my racing's been, is being around all these good people and them helping me. And I hope I've been a part of helping them the best I could. And I just think it's just a racing family. I mean, it's kind of like saying, "Hey, thanks, mom and dad." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. That's all I can tell you. I love it.
Yeah.
And
Hey, I do. I appreciate you coming on here and talking to me. Like I said, I've had lots of people want me to get you on here, and I thought, well, since I've had two Hall of Famers on here this week, I said, yeah, hopefully I can get you on here this week. And uh, for me, that's pretty special, Wayne, to have you know three guys of y'all's caliber on my show. It's just really special for me. I appreciate it.
well, you're more than welcome on my end, buddy. I appreciate y'all guys. I mean, things like this is what keeps racing going, and that's what we need. That's what we need.
Yeah.
That's a good program.
Maybe sometime, maybe sometime I can get down there and we get a triangle and you can give me a shock tour or something.
You come on down this way, and I'll give you. If we got one in Batesville there, shop tour there, and then I'll give you a shop tour down here at Ball Knob at my
Okay.
shop.
Okay. I appreciate you coming on for real. I really do. And it was an honor for me to talk to you and hopefully we can do it again sometime.
That'd be great, buddy. Anytime you want to.
All right. Thanks, Wayne. I appreciate it, sir.
Thank you too.